for the third time in as many days on the SEC Network. And with that, we say hello. JB Brazil alongside Sydney Parlee. Sydney, the bats may sting a little bit. The gloves may feel like stone with how cold it is. But one thing that's not cold is these Arkansas bats. They are red hot.
Arkansas's offensive production has been the best early season production that any team has had coming through this program. Going into this weekend, Arkansas has outscored opponents 102-13, JB.
Man, that's some dominance. Video game-like numbers. This is an Arkansas lineup, really 1 through 9, that can cause you damage. It's been difficult for Northwestern in terms of getting out, certainly, but they've got to get their offensive production going, too. They're facing some of the best pitching they've ever seen.
They absolutely do. And coming into this weekend, Northwestern, they've faced some tough opponents. It's been on the defensive side. That's been their struggle just a little bit. But on a day like today, they are going to have to stay the course and get runners on.
They will start things off against Cam Harrison in the circle. Number 25 can wheel and deal.
Cam Harrison, she has added a drop ball this season to her arsenal that's going to be effective. She really relies upon that rise ball at different levels through the zone, and it's her off-speed pitch that she'll sprinkle in from time to time to offset those two pitches.
Cam Harrison, a 1.17 ERA. She's 1-0 on the year, and she will start things off against Northwestern, a lineup with Grace Nito, Kelsey Nader, and Kaylee Avasato, the first three hitters. Just about set for action. Our home plate umpire, Lyndon Baptiste, gives the signal to Harrison. And here we go. Harrison with the windup, and we are underway from Fayetteville, Arkansas. 102 first pitch, and it misses outside. Nito, a .318 average. At the top of the lineup, has a home run, 8 RBIs. And just outside again, she'll have a hitter's count at 2-0.
And for Cam Harrison, she last season only had 6 starts on the season. This year, with the pitching depth, we're going to see Cam Harrison get a lot more circle time for this Arkansas staff.
2-0 pitch, slapped sharply, but fouled to the left side. So 2-1. Harrison, a nice job coming back, filling up the zone. Nito has yet to record a hit against Arkansas this weekend. One of those, again, was that no-hitter that Robin Heron threw in Game 1. So it's been tough sledding all the way around. Would love to get in the hit column here. 2-1, nice take upstairs, and she'll get a chance to dig in at 3-1.
And for Neo, she has been that consistent player every year for the Northwestern team. Being a slapper, a left-handed hitter in the box, it's just the consistency that she shows that just hasn't quite been there this weekend.
Looking to start things off as a base runner. Slaps it to the left side, but McDowell is right there. Nice play defensively, and that's the game's first out.
And that's what Ella McDowell does best, digging in on that short hop and firing it across the diamond to Tiana Bell. She stays through this hard-hit ground ball, catches it right on the short hop, and fires it over to Bell at first. It was a good scoop by Bell, too.
Sure was. That's a lot of reps over at third for McDowell. You don't make those plays without tons of time in the fielding facility.
Defensively, too, she's just been a huge presence for the Arkansas team defensively and with the presence and the leadership that she displays.
Just a sophomore, but, man, she was one of the best freshmen in the country for Arkansas a year ago. Kelsey Nader stepping in now, another lefty. 0-1 pitch is ripped deep to right field. That's trouble. Off the wall. Wyckoff will play it in, but a one-out double for Kelsey Nader, and she crushed it.
Kelsey Nader, what a swing on that pitch, and this is what the Northwestern offense does. They put up big swings, and she's displaying that right here. It's an up-and-in pitch that she gets her barrel above, driving it off of the right field wall. She was a little bit hesitant rounding first base, not knowing if she wanted to leg it out for a double, but she slides in smoothly.
It's a big swing for Northwestern. Kaylee Avasato now stands in, a chance to drive in a run with one out. And you're right, Harrison pitch maybe caught a little bit too much of the plate. Nader did miss it. It's just the second double of the year for Nader in the early onset. Avisato, a 325 hitter, batting from the right side. The first right-handed hitter that Harrison will face. She falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes.
And for Northwestern, the way that they have competed this weekend and with Arkansas winning the 2 games, you know, this is what you want to see, them having that energy and jumping out early.
Certainly what you certainly would like to see offensively. Get on and try to get runs early, something they haven't done against Arkansas this weekend. Again, we talked about tall order. This is a really good pitching staff. 6th in the country is Arkansas in team ERA, so they don't give up a lot of runs to anybody. You want to jump on them early.
Absolutely. And coming off of Heron and Burnham not allowing a run in either of their appearances against Northwestern.
2-1 pitch, catches the inner part of the plate. That's a nice pitch from Harrison. Froze Avisato. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second is Kelsey Nader. 2-2, strike 3 called. Harrison paints the inner black, and that was a dandy.
And for Harrison, what a response, being down in the count. She throws this screwball right inside, painting the corner for the strikeout looking. And that's one thing that Cam Harrison does. Coach Courtney Deifel's talked about it. She's resilient. She knows how to throw that punch back. She showed it last season when she had the opportunities, and is going to have a little bit more opportunity this season.
It's a big strikeout, not out of the woods yet, though. Emma Ray, the junior cleanup hitter, stands at hitting .324. She started and played in all 14 games. Really, the 1 through 7 portion of the lineup has started all 14 games for Northwestern, but Emma Ray, second on the team in home runs with 2. She's driven in 6 runs, trying to make it 7 at this at-bat. 1-0 from Harrison, popped up into shallow right field. Ball's carrying a little bit, but Reagan Johnson's over, makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Northwestern threatens, but unable to do anything with a 1-out double. Arkansas comes to bat for the first time when we come back. Welcome back to Bogle Park. J.B. Brazil alongside Sydney Parlee. Arkansas coming to bat for the first time after able to put up goose eggs in the top of the first. Reagan Johnson will lead things off, and she's been a mainstay at the top of the lineup.
She absolutely has. And for Reagan Johnson, she has been that table setter for this offense year after year after year, this year being her last year. But actually, Kennedy Dakota, she has been the leadoff hitter for majority of the season, and Coach Courtney Deifel talked about the fact that when you've got 2 incredible players in both of these young female athletes, it's kind of been difficult on who's going to be that leadoff and who's going to be that 2-hole. But today we're seeing Reagan Johnson leading things off.
She'll lead things off, and Riley Grudzielanek will be in the circle. She gets this start, a 3.42 ERA. She's 2-2 on the year, 14 in the third innings pitched, 12 hits, 12 runs, only 7 earned. She does have 11 walks to 10 strikeouts, so at times command can be an issue, but man, when she's on, and she's tough to hit.
And she absolutely is that. She's going to sit in the mid-60s, may pump it in the upper. She comes through the zone with that curveball and changeup combo.
1 ball, 1 strike to Reagan Johnson. This is the first time that Grizzolonics faced Arkansas this weekend, so new look for Northwestern in the circle, and offensively for Arkansas, a new look in the box. Hitters count, though, to Johnson at 2 balls and a strike. Up and in. Nice take by the leadoff hitter, and Grizzolonics going to have to make a careful pitch here. You don't want to put Johnson on with her speed, but you don't want to groove one either.
And that's what Reagan Johnson does best, is getting on and creating chaos on the diamond. The outfield is playing Johnson really far in this at-bat. It's been something that Northwestern's done with their defensive placement against Reagan Johnson. Interesting thing is she has the ability to hit it gap to gap, but I guess they've been seeing her mainly keeping it on the ground for the course of this weekend.
3-2 pitch. Nicely done at the knees. Strike 3 called. The first strikeout of the game for Riley Grizzolonic.
And Grizzolonic, what a pitch, being in a tough count against Reagan Johnson. She throws that low drop ball right at the knees. That's a big-time pitch.
Sure, against a really good hitter, really disciplined hitter, too. Just a great pitch, great location. It brings in Dakota Kennedy, the left-handed hitting left fielder, and Grizzolonic starts her off with a strike at the knees.
And what Dakota Kennedy has brought to this offense, transferring in from Arizona, she has been a huge piece to this offensive lineup.
Arkansas has a couple of transfers that are in the starting lineup. Tiana Bell transfer from Cal, matching the cleanup spot. Big shoes to fill with Bree Ellis, her exit, but Bell stepped in pretty nicely. 0-1 to Dakota Kennedy. Up and in with that pitch. Nice take from Kennedy. Thought about it, but able to lay off.
And one thing Kennedy talked about going into this season is transferring from Arizona. She said the coaching staff has allowed her to quickly be herself, and she's just so sure of herself right now. And I would have to say, with the way she's been swinging the bat, that she is.
Confidence is so key in offense, and you played a good time at a very high level, at this level, as a matter of fact. What's the key to being successful in the box? I know mentality and confidence has a lot to do with that.
You know, my thing is it's getting in the box and being in yes, 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 no mentality and attacking every pitch. I was the type of hitter where I wanted to hit early in the count. You're facing the best of the best. I didn't want to get behind in the count, and so my confidence stemmed, from getting in the box, being aggressive, jumping out early in the count, not riding the highs and lows. You take what you produce.
There's a comebacker to Grizzolonic, so she'll retire Dakota Kennedy for route number 2. But you were saying?
But for me, it's not riding the highs and riding the lows. It's a game of failure. You're going to fail, but then you also just can't ride that high whenever things are going great offensively. It's a humbling game, but I paused there for a second because I thought Kennedy actually hit that off of her foot, but I guess not. I guess it was fair play.
So with no foul ball off the foot, they said play on, so she's out on that comebacker. 1-3 on that put out. 2 are gone. It'll be all up to Ella McDowell. And to your point, this sport, baseball, softball, similar, right? When you're successful 30% of the time, and that's good, that tells you all you need to know.
You're absolutely right about that. And for this Arkansas offense, they're well even above that, batting within the 400 and 500 range.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yes. The production just, that's the thing that, average stands out. And then when you even jump from there and see the on-base percentages for, 1 through 9, it just is, you said it, game, like numbers. It's just unreal. Video game type numbers.
2 balls and a strike as McDowell takes that one there. She's a .350 hitter out of the 3-hole. Bats with the bases empty and 2 gone. Does have 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, so she can produce runs with nobody on also. Got to be careful if you're Grizzolonic on the 2-1. Expert pitch, though, at the knees, and it evens things up.
So far from Grizzolonic, we are really seeing her changing speeds and keeping the hitters off balance, and I think that's one thing that she's going to have to do a good job of throughout the course of the game today, is just mixing in that off-speed pitch.
2-2 laced up the middle. a single for Ella McDowell. Both teams will have a base runner in the opening inning, and Arkansas is hoping for a 2-out rally.
And then leaving that note, that was an off-speed pitch that McDowell made a great adjustment on, keeping her hands back and her weight back and then driving it back up the middle.
Boy, Ella McDowell, the impact that she made for this Arkansas team as a freshman speaks volumes.
Yeah, and a lot of times you have a freshman come in that's a true freshman like Ella McDowell. Just the way that she locks down third base for this program, it just stands out. But it's just the presence. And last season with the run that Arkansas had, she stepped up in so many big moments for the team.
That's right, some clutch hitting and some key conference series. Tiana Bell steps in, 1-0, hits her. Might have caught the back inside part of the hip. So 2 aboard now for Arkansas, and boy, it doesn't take much. You get the first 2 outs, that's big for Grudzielanek, but you're never out of the woods.
And then you've got Brinley Bain coming up to bat, who has been red hot offensively. Let's take another look at this pitch. It starts right out of the hand, going inside on Bell and gets her on the upper thigh.
So first and second, you talked about Brinley Bain. She's hitting, and you're hearing me right when I say this, 552. She's reached safely in all 13 contests. She's a freshman. Man, Arkansas's got a good one.
And that's what you want to see when you recruit these freshmen like Arkansas, has and is, and they step in like this is exactly what you're expecting. But I don't know if you can expect, hitting over 500 for a freshman, just getting a feel for this next level of play.
Count evens now at a ball and a strike from Grudzielanek. Got to be careful to Brinley Bain. Northwestern got the first 2 outs, thought they might get through the inning seemingly effortlessly, but Arkansas applying pressure with a McDowell single, and that one's ripped to deep right field. It's trouble off the wall. Brinley Bain comes through again. 1-0 Arkansas, and she'll take second on the errant throw.
And Briley Bain got every piece of that pitch. That's a big-time swing by Bain, and you made the point right before she took that swing. It's the pressure that this offense applies. This ball is up and in, and she gets every piece of it. Talk about the extension on that swing right there. That is beautiful.
That ball was piped by Brinley Bain. Looks similar to what we saw from Kelsey Nader in the top of the first. Similar placement, both off the wall. Bain, to her batting right now, it looks like a beach ball up there at the plate.
It absolutely does, and especially with the numbers that we're seeing to reflect that. She has such a consistent swing, just smooth through the zone, short to contact, long through extension.
For Bain, that's her 13th run driven in. That's 3rd on the team. You've got 2 other players with 14, and then Ella McDowell leads the way with 15. So lots of production 1 through 9. Still not out of the woods yet is Grudzielanek. A conversation in this circle with Kaylee Wyckoff, the veteran hitter, due up next. So the conversation seems to be over with. Grudzielanek all smiles on a very chilly and windy day in the northwest portion of the state. Here's Kaylee Wyckoff. Her numbers, well, you guessed it, also good. 485 hitter, does not have a home run this year, but she does have 8 runs driven in, a chance to add to that total here. First pitch swinging. Nice play, stabbed by the first baseman, and a diving play by Kansas Robinson to retire the side. That ball was destined for right field. What a web gem from Robinson.
And Kansas Robinson flashing the glove. This is an all-out effort on a ball driven through the 3-4 hole. This is the kind of play that you want to see and carry the momentum back in the dugout and to get on offense.
Top of the second is upon us. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Wildcats. True Medina will stand in first against Cam Harrison, and she takes the strike at the knees. Medina hitting a .194. Has a double and a home run to her credit, just 2 RBIs. Waits on the 0-1 from Harrison. And catches the inner portion. She's behind in the count 0-2.
And Cam Harrison right now, just through a little over an inning of work, she is really pumping in with that screwball into right-handed hitters hitting that corner.
She worked outside portion, now inside portion, trying to get her on 3 pitches. That one just outside the zone. A good pitch, though, nonetheless.
And for Medina, that's a good take on an 0-2 count.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm swinging at that.
I am too. I was never the type of hitter that was taking anything close to the strike zone, being down in the count.
1-2 pitch is skied to center field, but should be playable for Johnson. She's there, corrals it, and that's out number 1. And that brings in a very nifty first baseman, Kansas Robinson, making a heck of a play in the bottom of the first. And I don't know about you, but from my playing days, if I make a great play on defense, I was ready to get up to the plate.
Ready to get to the plate, and usually success follows that more times than not when you make a play like that on defense.
It's crazy how the sport is, but you kind of alluded to it just with the mentality, right, of not getting too high or too low. But it is a momentum sport, too, and so a lot of times you make a good play, you want to cash in on the offensive side. Cam Harrison ahead in the count. No balls and a strike, though, to Kansas Robinson. 0-1's popped up, foul and out of play. Robinson will work from behind 0-2. She's also hitting a .194, has a home run and 9 RBIs, but Cam Harrison trying to make quick work of Northwestern. She's ahead 0-2. Robinson waits from the left side. That one, maybe a waste pitch down and away. Got away from Harrison a little bit.
A little bit outside of the zone, and that is one thing Cam Harrison, when she's ahead in the count, she's going to throw that waste pitch just to see if the hitter will bite on it.
Robinson with good discipline, able to lay off. Still in the hole, though, a ball and 2 strikes. Same pitch from Harrison. A little bit further out that time, but again, doing what that waste pitch, trying to get a swing and miss.
And on that pitch right there, it looks as though as Harrison was going around and got to her release point, the ball got stuck behind her back hip just a little bit, which then if you don't clear your hips and allow your hand to come through that slot at your release point, it'll go out.
And that it did from Harrison. This time goes off speed in the dirt, though, and the counts run full. Balls, 2 strikes to Kansas Robinson, the senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. Harrison was ahead 0-2. Now it's full. 3-2 pitch, just a little bit outside. And how about that at bat from Kansas Robinson?
And you said it, JB. You said the type of play that she made on defense, and then success followed with a nice walk.
Yeah, having to work from behind. I mean, 0-2's tough. You got to be disciplined. There's a couple of nice pitches from Harrison that she was able to lay off. So now it brings in the Wildcat shortstop, Bridget Donahue. Will bat from the right side against Harrison, the Phoenix, Arizona product, hitting .258 out of that 7 spot. Takes the first pitch down and in. It is a chilly day in Fayetteville. As a matter of fact, had to move some games around, altered the schedule for today a little bit due to the weather also.
Yeah, Arkansas and SEMO was supposed to be matching up in the 4th game of the weekend, but because of the cold weather, the games had to be pushed back a little bit. This game against Northwestern and then that game against SEMO canceled.
2-0 pitch is chopped foul, and You and I were talking before the broadcast. You played in some cold temperatures. You talked about a game you played when there were snow flurries coming down.
We played a game my sophomore year, and it was like 22 degrees here in Fayetteville, snow flurries coming down, and we got the entire game in. But I can tell you one thing, by the time that game was done, I was ready to get in the dugout and be done for the day.
That's one where you want a 1-0 win, right? Get in, get out.
Never taken anything for granted, but that was cold.
2 balls and a strike to Bridget Donahue. She pops this one up, foul to the right side and out of play, so it evens things up. And, you know, Northwestern, and a lot of teams do this, when you play up in a northern part of the United States, colder weathers, you'll come down south to play, whether it's baseball or softball, just warmer temperatures. So, but here in Arkansas, it's still a little chilly.
You're right, and for Northwestern, they have been getting pounded by winter weather. Actually, leading up to the season, had not been outside since November.
Wow. Well, that certainly plays a factor in the early games. Just on both sides, offensively not maybe getting the reps, live reps. You're getting a lot of BP, but then fielding, too, comes into play.
And defensively, that has been one thing that's been a trend with Northwestern is the defensive errors throughout the course of the season. They have played some tough opponents, and it's been the defensive errors. And I'm going to allude to the fact that that's probably because they haven't been outside that much.
I'm telling you. 3-2 pitch is crushed deep down the left field line. Dakota Kennedy lost it in the sun, but it falls harmlessly in foul territory. Last moment, looks like she had it, then lost it in the sun.
In the sun, right about this time here at Bogle Park, I was an outfielder, so I do understand it. It sits right behind home plate. She gets a great read off the bat, gets over to it, and right at the last second, like you said, JB, she just loses it in the sun. That's why it's important when you run, you keep that glove right at your eyes to shield the sun, especially a ball that you're having to make a move on.
Because that sun is certainly very unforgiving. 3-2 pitch, misses down and in. What a take from Donahue. And after Harrison got the first batter, Medina, to fly out, back-to-back walks to Robinson and Donahue. And so now Northwestern a chance to try to tie things up or take the lead in the inning.
Absolutely. And right here, Cam Harrison, she's just losing it on that outer part of the plate. It seems as though her timing of her body moving off of the rubber is just a little bit off from what we saw in that first inning.
Left fielder Avery Garden stands in now, and she takes the first pitch on the outer portion for a called strike. Garden, the sophomore from Allen Park, Michigan, batting out of the 8th spot, hitting 200. No home runs, no runs driven in, but she'd love to change that here, making her 9th start of the season. How much do you feel like the weather, too, pitching can affect you when you're playing cold weather like this?
It definitely can affect you. You know, your hands get cold, but, you know, at the same time, too, though, you get to warm up, you get your body moving, you get ready. In between innings, you're in the dugout with your warm jacket on. So you adapt to it. I wouldn't say that it necessarily plays too much of a factor.
1-2 pitch, misses down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think more than anything, you just want quick innings regardless. But on days like today, maybe a little bit more incentive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Both reached via the walk. That one smoked foul, but Garden was well out in front.
And to your point, she absolutely was. That was actually on the outer part of the plate that she got around and was able to hook it down right in front of Northwestern's dugout down the first base line.
And so the question, too, you say pitcher doesn't maybe affect much. What about on the offensive side? Do you feel like cold weather affects that much either, or is it much the same?
I will say cold weather absolutely can affect you because if you miss-hit a ball, you're going to feel every piece of that. Every piece of that cold weather in your hands.
You know, if you're hitting the ball fine, you don't feel it, you're fine. But it's the moment you get sawed off or hit off the end of the mat, then it's in the back of your mind. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is a big pitch here in the top of the second. It's popped up by Garden, right side of the infield, moving into shallow right field. Davison tracks it down just behind first base. That's a big out, big pitch for Harrison, and 2 are gone.
And for Harrison, that's exactly what you want. Basically an infield fly to get that second out. And for Northwestern, with a runner in scoring position, just getting that ball in play through the infield, through the gap, could secure that run to tie things up.
2 gone now for Signe Dose. The DP batting in the 9 spot, hitting .500, but this is just her second start of the season, so small sample size. She's 1 for 2 with a double, but she did drive in 2 runs on that double. That's a big moment for a youngster. One ball, no strikes. Check swing fouled behind the plate. Dosa Jr., but small sample size, wanting to make sure she can do a job here. It's going to be a tall order against Harrison, who's only given up 1 hit today. That was back at the top of the first on a missile by Kelsey Nader. 2 walks in this inning have given Northwestern a chance to drive in a run. 1-1's swung on and missed. Nice movement from Cam Harrison.
And for Cam Harrison, to start this inning, she was losing the ball just a little bit. But now we're seeing her make the adjustment. She's using her off-speed pitch and is landing that off-speed pitch more than what she was when she was struggling at the top of this inning.
1-2 pitch to Doe. Swing and a miss. Harrison comes back and gets the big strikeout to end the inning.
And for Cam Harrison, she fights back with runners in scoring position. This curveball just perfectly painted up in the zone. So much throughout the course of the season that it has allowed them to give even other players who aren't in the starting lineup opportunities offensively, and that's a great problem to have.
Took the words out of my mouth. I mean, if you want to have a problem, that's the one you want, where you've got so much talent you're not sure how to get everybody in. Even in pitching, right? You've won so dominantly, you haven't gotten a chance to get some of those younger players in because when are you going to take out Robin Henry? You're not going to take her out during a no-hitter. I mean, you know what I mean? So.
Absolutely, and that's been one thing that the progression of this program as they continue to climb is just adding that depth offensively and in the pitching circle to help them to continue to have those postseason pushes.
Arkansas coming so close time and time again. Even the years that you played here, they've never made it to Oklahoma City. They were quite literally inches away last year, and the winner-take-all game against Ole Miss heartbreak for Arkansas, but they're hoping that this year's the year. And you talk about success. Northwestern, certainly a team that knows about success. They've made it quite a few times, and what a career and a program they've got going on there at Northwestern.
Northwestern, both coaches, Kate and Carol Droham, they are sisters, and just the perennial power and what they have built with this Northwestern program. I mean, 5 Big Ten championships under their helm, qualifying for 3 Women's College World Series appearances. Their last appearance was back in 2022, and they have become, of course, with how long they've been a part of the program, the all-time wins leader. 641st career win came back in 2021. They have, of course, exceeded that since then.
3-1 pitch to Rijo is smoked to left field. Station to station goes Arkansas. A hit by pitch to begin the inning. Rijo now with a single, and Arkansas's got something brewing.
And the consistency of this offense, this is what Arkansas is all about. And that swing by Rijo, it's on the outer part of the plate, and that's what she does so well. She has the ability to drive the ball the opposite way. Rijo is the type of hitter that gets inside and through the ball. You don't hardly ever see her trying to pull that outside pitch.
Even on a 3-1 count, too, very impressive. Here's the team's leader in slugging percentage. It's the 9-hole hitter, Carly Davison. I'd be willing to wager there's not many 9-hole hitters that have the slugging percentage that she's got.
Well, we talked about it before the broadcast, JB, that your 9 holes, usually that hitter that you're just trying to find, someone that can be in that 9 spot to turn the lineup over. You don't see someone with the slugging percentage and putting up the type of offensive numbers like Davison is.
966 is that slugging percentage. That's almost a whole point better than Tiana Bell, who's second best on the team. Davison hitting .448, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, and boy, smokes one to deep left, but foul. She was hunting home run number 4, but just a little bit out in front. Just a long strike is all that equates to.
She was just a little bit out in front of that pitch, hooking it down the left field line.
1-2, Grudzielanek delivers. Davison skies to deep right field. Ball's carrying. Back to the track is Nader. Tagging at second is Miller. She'll move up to third base, so a productive out for Carly Davison on a deep fly to right field.
And that ball just continued to carry. We've got a little bit of crosswind here at Bogle Park, but right off the bat, it was hit decent and just carried to that warning track.
Arkansas still in business as the lineup flips back over. Reagan Johnson, who struck out looking her first time against Grudzielanek. You know, she's itching to get back into the box and get some revenge, perhaps. Fastball is high, rising from Grudzielanek, and it's 1-0.
And for Reagan Johnson, being a slap hitter at the top of this lineup, with runners on, she can get in the box and get the job done with the ability that she has with her power slapping tool.
Upstairs again from Grudzielanek. That went a little bit closer, so a nice take from Johnson. But early in the count, her discipline, Johnson's so good. I mean, it's got to be in a very specific spot or she's not swinging.
Every hitter 1 through 9 in this lineup does this well, but Reagan Johnson has such a strong ability to see ball to strike.
2-0 pitch, nicely done. Johnson goes around, came inside it Grudzielanek, and Johnson unable to connect.
And for Grudzielanek, that is a great pitch combo, working that outer part of the plate and then coming back tight inside.
Hitters count still for Johnson. 2-1, lays down the bunt, left side, top play at first, and they throw it away. Medina, the errant throw. 2 runs are going to come in to score. They're going to wave around Johnson. Hands are up. Looks like the ball might be out of play, but no signal from the umpires. So as it appears, all 3 runs so far have scored. We'll wait on the official ruling. But, man, Johnson putting that bunt down, applying all kinds of pressure.
And that's what Reagan Johnson does. She applies the pressure and creates chaos.
Still waiting on the official call from our umpiring crew.
And from the look of it, JB, the tarp that sits on the side of the field, the ball was stuck back behind it up against the fence lodge. That's why they threw their hands up. They didn't have the ability to reach back there and grab it.
So Lyndon Baptiste, our home plate umpire, as we mentioned. The first base umpire, Michael Hernandez, was the one that retrieved the softball. And then Perry Owens, also the third base umpire, discussing things as well.
And this is what Reagan Johnson does, laying down a bunt perfectly down the line, legging it out. It's just she creates so much speed that it throws the timing off. Defensively, you feel that urgency of having to rush. And we see this a lot with Reagan Johnson and the chaos that she creates.
And there was a moment, too, if you'll notice, we get a chance to see True Medina took her eyes off it a little bit as she was feeling. She looked back to see if the runner was coming, and then the throw to first. It was a rocket, but it came on the foul side of first, so it was really tough for Kansas Robinson, who made a web gem earlier. Is going to take a miracle to make that play. We're still waiting on our official call. We haven't been given one yet.
And if I had to presume right here, JB, they're trying to decipher between if they had the ability to get the ball or not, where it was lodged against the tarp and the fence.
And this is something, before a game, you'll see both coaches, umpires discuss, hey, where's fair, where's foul? If the ball's thrown out of play, what's ruled in play and what's not? Likely something of this nature was somewhat discussed, but you're right. Was it this exact scenario? I don't know. The fact that they are having a long discussion with Coach Drohan may lead us to believe that all three runs are going to come around to score.
With the way that she's reacting, I don't ever want to assume anything, but it seems as though that looks to be the case. Let's take another. See this right here. Medina, she double checks. And immediately as they're approaching the ball, they throw their hands up, both Robinson and Nader. I feel like this is such a gray area, kind of that
No
in-between of
Yeah, I mean, he comes over. It wasn't quite visible, perhaps, but it was an easy pickup from Hernandez. We're still waiting on that official ruling. But if it stands, it will be 4-0 Arkansas, and what a swing that would be.
Northwestern is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was not blocked. That play is under further review.
So we'll wait a little bit longer for our answer there. We'll go back and take a look and see if that ball was indeed blocked. Certainly from our vantage point, Hernandez picked it up pretty quickly, but it's going to depend on the determining factor of what is determined by blocking, right? What So they'll go take a look at that. But regardless, the play there, that's a tough play for Medina to make because you already know Johnson's super fast. You're going to have to make a throw and make it quickly. She did the right thing by looking the runner back to third. The throw to first, it's just a tough play for Robinson to make, so it gets away. One run, likely two are already going to score, so it's likely 3-0 regardless, unless they decide the runner wasn't to second or to third by the time that ball was out of play.
And again, as this gets right by Robinson, Reagan Johnson right on her as she's crossing the bag. One thing, JB, is they threw their hands up because obviously from their angle approaching it, they don't see the ball. The ball's lost. It's behind the tarp.
Right.
So I'm going to be curious to hear the ruling on this is, if they had to make the attempt to get the ball.
Yeah, a lot of times that is the case. But I mean, in two, as a player, you're doing what you're taught. If you can't see the ball, hands up quickly. Because it's quick, right? I mean, it doesn't take much time for Johnson to score all the way around the bases, so you've got to split the second to the side. If you can't see the ball, hands go straight up. So they did what they were taught. And what you're supposed to do, quite frankly, in that scenario.
But in this time, just to belabor the point, Reagan Johnson, this is what she displays. This is her bread and butter, creating chaos and utilizing her speed. And defensively, when you have someone like Reagan Johnson who puts the ball in play, puts the ball on the ground, that's what she's trying to do. It gets the defense off of their timing, their internal clock. You feel the need to rush. We saw this in yesterday's game. Reagan Johnson, almost the same scenario. She puts the ball on the ground. Arkansas ends up scoring a few runs just because of that rush the defense. I think it looks like that they've come to a conclusion.
They're still discussing these, but you're right. I think they're figuring out how they're going to word this when they come. They've got the result, just figuring out how they're going to determine this call. And it's a big call, quite frankly. I mean, early in the game, but Reagan Johnson on a 2-1 count, laying that bunt down.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball was not blocked.
So there it is. 4-0 Arkansas. We'll wait on the official ruling, but if there's no error involved, that's an inside the park home run, I'm pretty sure. Well, there's an error, the error on third, so it won't be. So negate everything I just said. The errant throw from Medina naturally is where the error occurs. So no inside the park home run.
And to your point, JB, being so early in the game, that one play right there is a difference maker.
It certainly is. That's a tough break for Northwestern, but Arkansas, well, 4-0. And so it will bring in Dakota Kennedy after the lengthy review, and the dust settles. It's 4-0 Arkansas. On the second error of the game by Northwestern, that one was a costly one. Ends up in 3 runs. If that ball's thrown clean by Medina, runner at third is staying put, you likely get Johnson. The throw seems to be there in time, and there's 2 outs and runners at second and third, but instead, bases are cleared for nothing and only 1 out in the inning.
And, you know, that's one thing, just going back to Northwestern, it's those defensive cues. And quite frankly, the past 2 games of the matchup between Arkansas and Northwestern, there were, you know, quite a few of the runs were unearned in both games because of defensive miscues.
Well, that's going to be the case here. All 3 runs unearned. Because Miller was not going to score from third base on that attempted bunt to the left side. 1-2 pitch to Dakota Kennedy, and a nice take to even the count at 2-2. Ella McDowell waits in the on-deck circle, slap to the left side, fair ball into left field. Kennedy trying to leg it for a double. She dives in safely. And Arkansas continues to apply offensive pressure.
In the speed of Dakota Kennedy, she sees that Medina is playing a few feet off of third base, and she so perfectly gets to her crossover step and punches it down the left field line. And just such heads-up base running. She sees the timing of where Avery Garden is in left field and to get a double out of that.
Well, the conversation in the circle now, and Riley Grudzielanik's day might be done. Indeed, that appears to be the case. Northwestern heading to the bullpen in the bottom of the second. Arkansas leads at 4-0. They got runner second with 1 out, looking to do more damage when we come back. Northwestern is Emma Blay, making her second appearance against Arkansas this weekend. Went 2 2/3 innings last time out against Arkansas. 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned. And the first pitch to Ella McDowell is fouled away. What do you like about Emma Blay?
Emma Blay is the hardest thrower on this Northwestern staff. She's heavy drop balls. She's going to throw the drop ball at different parts of the zone, belt high, and then throwing it a little bit lower below the knees. And then she, this season, has started to develop an off-speed pitch to offset that drop ball.
So really changing velo there. Goes down and in to McDowell to even the count. For Blay, she's pitched 14 1/3 innings this year, a 3.91 ERA. 10 strikeouts, 6 walks, only giving up 5 doubles, and 8 earned runs. 1-1 to McDowell is taken outside, so a hitter's count to the Arkansas third baseman. And for all intents and purposes, Riley Gredzolani didn't pitch poorly at all. Just unfortunate, the 3 unearned runs. 2-1 to McDowell is hit high and deep into center. That ball is gone. Crushed by Ella McDowell. And just like that, it's 6-0.
Ella McDowell, you want to talk about some pop in a swing. That was full force. And you can see the excitement from the team. She gives a little dance, her personality showing. You love to see that. But what a big-time swing by Ella McDowell. This is an inside pitch, so short and quick to contact, and right off the bat, it was a no-doubter out of the park. That has hit deep. We even had a little bit of a fumble.
We did.
We love the effort, though. We love the effort, even from the fans.
Nearly had a barehanded catch there. I'm going to tell you, I don't know that I would brave that. There's a ground ball to the left side of the infield. Shortstop makes a nice play. Donahue, and she throws out Tiana Bell at first. Well, quickly things can change. Coming into this inning just 1-0, and Arkansas puts a 5 spot on the board. Still not done yet.
And with this offense, it's just they apply the pressure and then they lock it in. And it just starts to set in once they get up 3, 4, 5 runs.
So Brinley Bain stepping in. She smoked one off the right field wall her first time up. Drove in the game's first run just an inning ago. Her average continues to climb. Bain hitting .567 after that double in the last inning. I mean, goodness, there's just, you don't have freshmen that do what Bain can do. Offensively is absolute tear at the plate right now.
And this is an athlete that Coach Courtney Deifel went and hunted in high school. Just her accolades went on and on and on. And going into college for Brinley Bain, she was the #9 prospect within the entire country.
Sources tell me that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Emma Blay, though, ahead 0-2. Or excuse me, the count's now even. They ruled out a ball 1-1.
And we talk about the Arkansas program getting freshmen like this and transfers. I'm just going to say it wasn't that many years ago where Arkansas maybe wasn't necessarily a spot that girls thought, you know, I want to be recruited to. But what Coach Courtney Deifel has done in the transformation of this program, girls want to come and play here.
That ball smoked by Bain, but right at Kansas Robinson, a vacuum at first to end the inning, but the damage is done. Arkansas puts 5 on the board in the bottom of the second. They're up 6-0 from Bogle. Arkansas putting up 5 runs in the bottom of the second, all capped off by the 2-run bomb of Ella McDowell. And you saw with her dancing and how much energy she's got, you know she has fun out there.
She does. Big personality, big presence. You know, the program lost Bree Ellis, and I would say that Ella McDowell still fills that void of, you know, the camaraderie amongst the team. And, you know, 3rd-team All-American last year, 2nd-team All-SEC, freshman All-American. She has that presence for this staff. She recently went on a podcast and we talked about mentality earlier, but that pressure is a privilege. And I just love that because you're right. You're getting to play at the highest level possible. A lot of pressure comes with that, but it's a privilege to have the opportunity to be able to be a part of and to have such a unique experience. But yeah, great player, great teammate from what the coaches discussed about Ella McDowell.
To welcome pressure on, she came in some clutch moments for Arkansas last season. You got to have that mindset to be able to deliver in those moments, almost envisioning success, right? In those big moments, McDowell certainly did that. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Grace Nito. She grounded out to 3rd to begin the ball game against Cam Harrison. 1-2 pitch. Lays off on that one, up and away. You know how big it is, too, to pitch with a lead for Harrison. Sometimes maybe things don't go your way early on, but when your team gives you a 6-0 lead, you pitch a little bit more confidently. If you weren't already, you certainly are now. 2-2, slapped foul.
And that's one thing that Coach Deifel talks about is with the way that the offense swings the bat, it allows the pitching staff to go out and pitch more freely. Even in those games that are tighter and they may not have that many runs on the board, they still have that confidence in the offense to get the job done.
2-2 pitch to Grace Nito. Upstairs, that's a great take. Nito able to lay off the graduate from Farmington Hills, Michigan. That's a veteran take from the top of the lineup. Payoff pitch from Cam Harrison, just a little bit outside the take from Nito, and she's on board to lead off the 3rd.
Can see Kennedy Miller behind the plate kind of maybe question that call just a little bit, ask where the pitch is at. But that was a great at-bat by Grace Nito, and that's what she does at the top of the lineup, her consistency, and she has been that consistent player for Northwestern throughout her journey.
Kelsey Nader steps in now. She doubled off the right field wall her first time up. Takes his strike there, and we talked about Northwestern and the success that they've had over really since Coach Drohan has gotten there. From 2022 to 2024, the coach of the year in the Big Ten. I mean, big numbers. She's won many more outside of that. She's done wondrous things there in Evanston.
She absolutely has, and, you know, to top it off with 18 NCAA appearances, and that ball shot through the 5-6 hole. And we're seeing the momentum shift a little bit. And what I was about to say is going in to this top of the inning, Coach Droham, she had her team in a huddle, and you could see just the intent that she had speaking to them. And I know the message has to be that, yes, we're down 6 runs, but this program, this team, the way that they swing the bat, they have it within them to compete. They beat Missouri earlier in this season already, so they're competitors. And it just starts with the head coaches. And, you know, recently in an interview with the whole team, it was posted to their social media. The girls were asked about the differences in Kate and Carol. And really entertaining video because they were all giving their, you know, opinions. And Carol, you know, has more jokes, is more whimsical, a lot of the girls said. Kate's more serious, mysterious, down to business. And, you know, 2 sisters doing what they've done at Northwestern, but you've got to have that balance. They can't both be the same.
Sure.
But great content there put out with the girls' opinions. And, yeah, what they've done with this program is monstrous.
Elite level stuff. They've won and won. There's a base hit to left field from Abasato. They're going to wave home Nito. The throw is late. Both runners move up on the throw home. An RBI single from Avisato, and Northwestern's on the board.
And for Avisato, driving this ball through the 5-6 hole, getting a run on the board. This is a big-time swing. This pitch is up and in, and she does her job. And the speed of Neo coming from second, she does not hesitate one bit.
So a walk to Nito and then back-to-back singles from Nader and Avisato. Emma Ray, the cleanup hitter, now stands in. She flew out to center her first time. She does something similar that likely gets another run home.
And this game's all about making adjustments. Second time through, they've displayed that. They've made the adjustments.
That's a great point. Sometimes that's why it's tough for pitchers the second time through, right? You can, and that's why it makes it so difficult in this game at this age, right? To have pitchers that throw no hitters in perfect games, because the offensive teams have really soared. You're seeing a lot more offensive power from teams over the last handful of years.
Softball's evolved so much. Girls make such quick adjustments. The quicker you make an adjustment, the quicker you are to have success. And the adjustment that I've seen from this Northwestern offense just in the top of the third inning is they're attacking earlier in the count. They're not letting too many pitches go by. That's kind of what I've always preached, but they're attacking earlier in the count, not letting Cam Harris get ahead of them.
1-2 pitch, a little bit outside. Nice take from Emma Ray to run the count even. Yeah, because a lot of times if you're taking early, you're missing pitches that you could potentially drive, a hitter's pitch, if you will. 2-2 from Harrison. Off speed, smoked into the right field corner. Fair ball. Two more come in to score. Emma Ray with a double, and she delivers.
And this is what Northwestern's offense is all about, and what a response coming off of the bottom of the second inning. And Ray gets every piece of this pitch, a little bit inside-out swing, driving it down the right field line. She legs it out for a double.
A two-run double for Emma Ray, and that will chase the starter, Cam Harrison. Hogs heading to a new pitcher. We'll talk about that pitcher when we come back. Sailor Timmerman is the new pitcher for Arkansas. Boy, she's got some great numbers for a freshman. 15 in the third innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, only one earned run. And now her fifth appearance. This is her second appearance of the weekend. She pitched 7 innings strong of shutout baseball against SEMO. Timmerman is a special player too.
She is, and to be a freshman coming onto this staff, a big piece. And for Timmerman, she's going to rely upon that vertical mix of her rise and drop balls. She's going to sit mid to upper 60s, and she too utilizes a changeup to offset that high speed.
She'll face True Medina with a runner at second base and nobody out. The runner at second is Cam Harrison's responsibility, so we can't close the book on her just yet. With her team leading 6-3 right now. There's a chopper to the left side. That'll get through. They'll hold the runner at third, so Ray will stay put. I think they actually got a courtesy runner over at second for her. So now runners at the corners on the base knock, and Northwestern keeping on, keeping on.
And what a response by Northwestern. This ball, McDowell's playing closer to the bag. Rio's more shifted up the middle. Just finds enough to get it through the 5-6 hole.
Here's Kansas Robinson now. The tying run is at the plate. Can you believe it? 3 plated in the inning. Still nobody out. Robinson walked her first time up. This is the first runs against Arkansas that Northwestern's been able to score this weekend, and they're trying to get all that they can. Get it while the getting's good, as they say, right?
You're right about that. Whatever that message was that Coach Drouin said to the team to get them going, the point definitely got across.
Looks like Grace Minarovic is the runner over at third base, so she came in to run for Emma Ray. Minarovic at third, True Medina at first now. Still nobody out. 2 balls, 1 strike. A hitter's count for Kansas Robinson. Timmerman's got to be careful. 2-1, swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Miller, and the runner from third will come in to score. 6-4 now. Northwestern has cut the deficit to 2.
And right here, this off-speed pitch from Timmerman gets right past Kennedy Miller. It looks like it just got off the edge of her glove. She didn't see it all the way in.
It'll remain 2 balls and 2 strikes as Robinson fouls it off, but now a base hit to the outfield, and Northwestern can cut that lead to 1. Bridget Donahue waiting in the on-deck circle. There's a ground ball past the pitcher. Rijo charges and makes a nice play. They'll throw Robinson out at first. Medina moves to third base. 2 are gone. Nope, that's the first out of the inning. Wow.
They have definitely created some chaos. And for Robinson, that's not a bad piece of hitting to move Medina over to third and get her 60 feet closer to getting ahead in this ball game.
So Robinson on that ground out. That's right, on that swing and miss, it was just strike 2, so she didn't strike out. First out. That's a productive out then for Robinson, because now if you're Donahue, a long fly ball to the outfield or maybe something up to the middle of the infield line. 1-0, nice pitch from Timmerman. Catches the strike zone to the bottom portion. What a response from Northwestern. Their bats have been stymied all weekend. There's a chopper to third. McDowell throws to first. They're going to try to sneak home the run, and she's safe. Diving in ahead of the tag is True Medina. It was close. They get the out at first. McDowell for the second out, but then Medina dives ahead of the tag at home, and it's 6-5.
And for Medina, she got a great jump off of the bag. Ella McDowell looked her back, but with her speed.
Arkansas is challenging the ruling on the play of a safe at home.
We see right there that tag. She may have gotten around it with that slide, but Arkansas is going to challenge this call.
What's not going to help for Arkansas is the fact that the shadows on the field really kind of meet right near home plate, so it might kind of guard things a little bit.
Well, to your point, JB, as I was trying to make that call, it was very hard to tell with the shadow right there at home plate to see exactly if she got her hand around or under that tag. Such a bang-bang play.
Sure was. What an effort by Medina first off. Athletic play to head down the line. McDowell doing everything right, looking her back to third. The throw home from Tiana Bell was a good one. Miller's tag seemed good too. It just may have been a hair late. Something to keep in mind too, the ruling on the field is safe, so you've got to have enough evidence to overturn that. If you can't tell, then likely it's going to stand. And depending on how this turns out, 6-5 could be the score right now. How about it?
Talk about some grittiness shown from this Northwestern team.
That's a good point. I mean, you know, you get blanked in 2 different outings against Arkansas. You haven't scored on them all weekend, and then you start to get things going. A lot of teams can lay down, right? It's demoralizing when you play and you get a no-hitter against you, or it's just hard to get runs scored. But the resiliency that Coach Drohan's got her team, the fire that she lit into them, whatever she said, certainly seems to get them sparked and ready to roll.
And looking at this slide, it's hard to tell with that shadow right there, but it looks like JB that she gets that left hand on the back part of the plate right as Kennedy Miller is placing the tag. Looks as though that left hand gets right on the back side of the plate, and then Kennedy Miller tags her on her side.
And that's a good point, too. The fact that with that shadow there and the hand getting in, I just find it going to be really hard that you're going to have enough to overturn that, even if so. About to find out what the call is.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Safe and all.
Wow, monstrous 6-5. Our score, Northwestern is within one, 6-5. And what a response here at the top of the third.
And you can hear the excitement coming from Northwestern in the dugout. Huge response, huge response. And you said it yourself, JB, being down 6 runs, that you can lay down to that just a little bit. But the resiliency and the grit fighting back makes it a whole different ball game. And we're just in the 3rd inning.
Sure does. Makes that call down the way behind the tarp where Reagan Johnson bunted a moment ago. All 3 runs scored. They didn't rule blocking on the play, so those 3 runs were crucial. The 2-run bomb now from Ella McDowell, huge too. You're right, got a ball game. 6-5-0 the line score for Arkansas, 5-5-2 for Northwestern. All 5 of their runs coming here in this top of the 3rd. As a payoff pitch to Bridget Donahue is fouled back into the netting. The run will be charged to Timmerman, but it is not earned, so she still has only 1 earned run given up on the season. That's crazy for a freshman. And that one misses just a little bit low. 3 balls and a strike now to the Northwestern shortstop. And she takes it upstairs for ball 4. The tying runs aboard for the Wildcats. That's the 2nd time now that Donahue has walked. Both at bats earning the free pass. That's some good at bats from the bottom part of the lineup.
Well, and talking about so far for Northwestern offensively, they have obviously put the ball in play, but it has been the 5 walks that have been issued.
That'll never make a coaching staff happy when you give up the free pass if you're on the opposite side. Avery Garden. I'll be a pinch hitter. Tegan McHugh, the freshman, will stand in. So Garden pinched in with McHugh here. The lefty takes the first pitch for the 1-0 upstairs. Now it's 2-0. McHugh hitting .462. No home runs, 1 RBI through 13 at-bats. Takes it outside, 3 balls, no strikes, and Timmerman's in danger of putting 2 aboard now. Ball 4 low, back-to-back walks in Northwestern. Still looking for more damage in the top of the 3rd. And I think Coach Deifel's seen enough. Timmerman will exit. And Arkansas heading to the bullpen once again. It looks like Robin Heron will enter the circle. Coming off a no-hitter last time out. Arkansas leads at 6-5, but danger ensues. 6-5, top of the third, and Arkansas heads to their second team All-American from a year ago. Robin Heron coming off a no-hitter last time out against Northwestern, and she will face the top of the lineup, Grace Nito.
And for Robin Heron, in that no-hitter, she had 12 strikeouts. And what they can expect to see again from Robin Heron is she's going to throw east to west. She utilizes her rise and drop. It's that off speed that when it's on, it is on.
So Heron gets ahead of Nito. Oh and 1. Lefty on lefty matchup. Nito is 0 for 1 today. Slaps his foul into the Razorback dugout, and bullpen catcher makes a nice catch.
We've seen some attempts from the fans. Now we're seeing a good snag by the bullpen catcher. Even outside of the parameters of the ballpark, everyone's trying to do their job.
That was a nice play, not going to lie. Having to turn his body around, make that catch. 1-2 from Robin Heron. Taken low by Nito. Boy, that ball gets up there quick. That's a tough take from Nito, but she's able to lay off.
The speed that Robin Heron has, she throws in the mid to upper 60s, and then her off-speed pitch shifts so much, which is what she usually does to keep hitters off balance.
Hit off the end of the bat here. Tough play, but they'll scoop, and a throw by Davison. Able to underhand and get Nito to end the inning. But not before Northwestern puts 5 on the board. We got a ball game from Bogle, 6-5. Welcome back to Bogle Park. JB Brazil alongside Sydney Parlee. 6-5 our score. Arkansas jumped down in front 6-0. A big second inning, but Northwestern a big response. They put 5 runs on the board in the top of the third. Emma Blay out for her first full inning of work, and she will face 6, 7, and 8. Kaylee Wyckoff, Kennedy Miller, and Natalia Rijo. Carly Davison bats if anybody reaches. Wyckoff 0 for 1 today, grounded out. Smoked out to first base. It was a nice web gem by Kansas Robinson. Wyckoff made a bid to drive in a couple of runs on that at bat.
And for Kansas Robinson, she has flashed the leather over at first base a couple of times today.
She really has made some big plays. Wyckoff smokes this one to deep left center field, but a nice track down in left field. Avery Garden deep in the left center field gap, battling the win. That's a big catch.
Huge catch by Avery Garden. She gets a great read off of the bat. Good, hard, aggressive first step back. She tracks this all the way. What a snag in the left center field gap.
That's some.
And over-the-shoulder catch.
Yeah, the wind. That's one former outfielder to a current outfielder, one to another.
A lot of respect for some plays like that.
So a tip of the cap to you, Avery Garden. It's a big out because, Arkansas is looking to respond.
Well, and I'll tell you, too, she was playing in. It's been really interesting to watch Northwestern's defensive shifts on each batter. The infield's been playing back almost on the grass and dirt line.
There's a base hit from Ramsey Walker. She came in to hit for Kennedy Miller, and she delivers a one-out single, a little seeing-eye single right back through the box.
For Ramsey Walker, she's had the ability so far this season to get some pinch hitting opportunities and has made the most of every single one.
Yeah, I'd say so. 538 average, just got a little bit better with that base hit here. 8 of 14 now is Ramsey Walker with a home run and 8 RBIs to her credit. It brings in Natalia Rijo, the Arkansas shortstop, and she waves and misses at the first one. Rijo singled back in the second inning, so she's 1 for 1 today. Lines this to left field, but Garden's got room, backpedaling. She makes the catch, second out of the inning. Both outs in the inning recorded by Avery Garden, making it look easy out there in left.
Making it look easy, but with this wind right off the bat, it's kind of shifting. But a great job on that play she just made. She was running one direction, had to shift. Right as we say that, the wind dies down, but it has been across the field.
Sure has. It's been howling. Believe us, I promise you. We wouldn't lie to you.
No, no, we wouldn't.
Here's one of the best hitters in the lineup, 9-hole Carly Davison. We've talked about it time and time again, the luxury to have her offensive prowess and really how she's evolved offensively. She's always been a good hitter, but man, out of that 9 spot, that's monumental to have that. Runner at first is Ramsey Walker. She singled with 1 out. Watched as Natalia Rijo lined out to left field, so 2 gone in the inning. Davison flew out to deep right field her first time up, but trying to keep the inning going. Emma Blay for Northwestern trying to end any rally from getting started. Hitters count to Davison. Smoke down the right field line. That's trouble. It one-hops the wall. They're going to hold Ramsey Walker at third. Carly Davison goes opposite field and a big-time double.
Solid swing by Carly Davison. Ball's on the outer half of the plate. She gets every piece of this pitch, just lining it down the right field line. And for Kelsey Nader, she had no shot on that swing.
Yeah, Nader has done a nice job of trying to track things, but didn't stand much of a chance. Runners at second and third now after the double from Davison. Lineup flips back over. Reagan Johnson now batting for the third time here in the top of the third. She struck out looking and then reached on an error her last time up. That was that bunt to third that Medina threw away. With 2 runners aboard, everyone scored.
And with this defensive placement, I'm curious if Reagan Johnson's going to try to lay down that bunt and get herself on to then allow Kennedy to come up, or if she's going to try to drive in the run.
First base is open. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Dakota Kennedy, as you mentioned, waiting in the on-deck circle. She's 1 for 2 today with a double. Johnson stands in with a 1-1 count. Blay delivers, slap back to the pitcher. Blay to first, and she evades trouble. Works herself into and out of a jam, but it's still 6-5 after 3. Got a good one in Bogle. Welcome back to Bogle Park. Top of the fourth. It's a 6-5 affair. Arkansas scored the first 6 runs of the game, but Northwestern returns with 5 of their own. It's 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Wildcats. Nader, Avisato, and Emma Ray.
One interesting thing in Nader right here, she's getting in the box. She's made the adjustment to scoot up on the plate and move more to the middle to the front of the box. And with that left on left facing Robin Heron, she's making that adjustment to get to the pitch before it's breaking.
That's very important to do because Nader is 2 for 2 today, but Robin Heron naturally has gotten the best of the Northwestern lineup last time she faced him, a 7-inning complete game no-hitter. It's 2-1 though to Nader. She pops it up foul outside of the complex. What makes Robin Heron so effective?
Well, right now with this left-on-left matchup, she'll throw that curveball away from the lefty that starts at the hip and then just cuts across the plate. And it's typically what she goes to. Right there, you just saw it.
It's a big swing and a miss from Robin Heron. That's her first of the game, and it starts off the inning out number 1. Nader retired for the first time today.
But, you know, talking about the trajectory of Robin Heron, as she has continued to progress year after year, she just keeps evolving. She's not just flattened out and has stayed consistent. Every year, it's either adding a new pitch to her arsenal, sharpening that off speed a little bit more. She has just continued to grow. And that's one thing that you want to see is that athlete having that upside. And she's definitely has showed that so far this season.
Kaylee Avisato stands in now. She's 1 for 2 today. She drove in a run an inning ago. She struck out looking her first time up. First time against Robin Heron, though. You talk about the pitch sequence for Heron, adding in more pitches, as if she needs any more pitches in her repertoire.
And when you have the ability to throw all 4 pitches through the zone, and they all start out on the same level and then break before the hitter, it's not that you can see it out of the hand. It's right as it's approaching the plate.
You know, a similarity that reminds me of that is for Arkansas baseball, Kevin Kopps, right? The years that he had, he could throw the same pitch, but it could go 4 different directions. And when you can throw that consistently, that's what you see from Robin Heron, dominance. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kaylee Avisato. Heron delivers a foul off the foot, so Avisato will stay alive. And boy, when Robin Heron can get ahead too, that's when she's really dangerous, because she can go to just about any pitch. Avisato, the sophomore from Leesburg, Virginia, gives this one a ride to center, but the ballpark's going to hold it. Reagan Johnson, ranging over into right center field, makes the catch.
And we saw the sun play a little bit of a factor earlier, but right off the bat, Reagan Johnson sticks her glove up, and you can see that the sun is playing an effect. And not only, you know, Reagan Johnson just showing that right there and, you know, her IQ, but it gets talked about repeatedly that she can cover 70% of the field, just like there's 70% of ocean water on the planet. So it's not just her heads-up play, but the speed that she has out there in center field.
She has certainly been a huge part of Arkansas' success over the last few years, really been a starter since she stepped on campus. One heck of a defender, great speed, but you mentioned her offense at the top of the lineup too. Emma Ray standing in. She's 1 for 2 today. She doubled in a couple of runs back in that 3rd inning. She's a big offensive presence for Northwestern. The 1-1 from Robin Heron. Swing and a miss. The bottom fell out of that one, and Ray swung right over the top.
And that's that off-speed pitch that Heron throws, and when it's on, it's on. When she's able to land it and manipulate it where she wants, she keeps the hitters off balance.
1-2 pitch. Foul to the plate.
You know, an interesting thing that Coach Courtney Deifel talked about last season with Heron is even on the pitches that she misses on are just as effective. Even when she doesn't execute at a higher rate, she feels as though that's sometimes even more effective with the chase rate that she gets hitters.
That's crazy to think about. The reason she has so much success, the 1-2 pitch is swung on, hit deep to right field, and it is gone! Emma Ray off the foul pole and right, and we're tied at 6.
A huge moment for Emma Ray. Tie ball game here at Bogle Park. This swing, outside pitch, even a ball off the plate. She allowed it to travel deep, hitting it right off of the foul pole. Huge moment for Emma Ray.
Man, some power, too. That hit the top portion of the foul pole. It was been out of here by plenty. She just had to make sure she kept it within the field of play, and Ray just did. And we've got a tie ball game. How about that? True Medina now stepping in, and Heron bounces one in the dirt. That's 3 RBIs for Emma Ray. Have a day.
And what a moment. We see balls pulled all of the time, to be hit out of the park, but an opposite field home run to the tune of that, to your point, that thing would have kept going.
Might have had a little bit of help from the wind, but I don't think it really would have mattered one bit. Ray got every bit. I mean, that's tough, too, to go opposite field, go with the pitch and get that much power. That's impressive. Against a pitcher in Robin Heron who doesn't give up many of those at all. True Medina with a 2-0 count. That one's in the dirt as well, so 3 balls, no strikes. Heron might be a little bit rattled. Look to see her bounce back a little bit. And that wasn't a bad pitch necessarily from Heron either. A little bit elevated on that a moment ago.
Looking at the location, it was elevated, and it was about a ball and a half off of the plate.
Yeah.
She went and got that almost on the chalk line.
3 balls, 1 strike now to True Medina. Chase ball 4, and the count's full. Boy, how quick momentum can swing, too. Arkansas was well in control of this one, 6-0 after 2. But Northwestern has rallied back. Payoff pitch to True Medina. Fouled straight back. Another 3-2 pitch coming home from Robin Heron. Strike 3 called, ends the inning, but not before Emma Ray goes big fly.
And Emma Ray with 2 outs on the board. She decides she wants to tie things up with just 1 swing of the bat, drilling it off of the foul pole. You see the excitement right there. We've got a ball game. You're fine. That's why I just didn't start talking, because I was like, maybe there's a little glitch. It's okay.
Oh, that's funny. Never a doubt.
Do you have both weekends of or both games of Georgia?
I've just got Friday, Sunday.
Okay.
New pitcher, by the way. Number 4.
Number 4 is Renee Cunningham.
Welcome back to Bogle Park. JB Brazil alongside Sydney Parlee and the rest of our crew. Glad you're with us. New pitcher for Northwestern, Renee Cunningham. And we've got a new ball game all squared at 6 in the bottom of the 4th.
And that we do. And for Renee Cunningham, she usually comes in the relief role for Northwestern. She likes to mix speeds. That's her bread and butter. And one thing about this Northwestern staff, and Coach Drohan talked about it going into the season, is they're going to utilize all 5 arms, and especially having to fill that void from Boyd, the all Big Ten pitcher, not being a part of the staff anymore. She still is on staff, but as a GA, she ran out of eligibility. But that's one thing that Northwestern does, is all 5 pitchers are going to be utilized.
Cunningham gets the line out of Dakota Kennedy. Ella McDowell homered her last time up. Big 2-run bomb back in the 2nd inning. She'll stand in here. Cunningham, 0-1 pitch, looping a little bit low to even the count. One pitch to Ella McDowell, dips low again. McDowell kindly picks the ball up and gives it to our catcher, Emma Ray. Hitter's count, though, for McDowell. Renee Cunningham's got to be careful. This is Cunningham's 8th appearance of the season. She's got a 5.25 ERA, 9 1/3 innings pitched. Giving up 17 hits, 7 earned runs. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, so she's got good command. Doesn't typically lose hitters, but she's got to be very careful right here to Ella McDowell. 3-1, just a little bit outside. McDowell draws the walk and a 1-out base runner for the Hogs.
And that's what you want to see on a 6-6 ball game, is getting that lead runner on. And for Cunningham right here, and this goes for both sides, because of the way that offensively Northwestern and Arkansas swings the bat, it's going to be important to keep the ball low in the zone. Let your defense work back behind you.
That's a really good point. You don't want to elevate anything. That's when problems can ensue. And this is an Arkansas lineup that is not very forgiving. If you make a mistake, they typically make you pay. 1-0 now to Tiana Bell. Bell's 0 for 1 today. She grounded out to short, but she was hit by a pitch in the first. She's got some pop from that right side. She has a hitter's count now at 2-0, and so Cunningham, missing both times, gets a conversation from Kansas Robinson, the first baseman. Maybe just trying to settle her down a little bit. Off speed, just a little bit low to Tiana Bell. It's 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Taking all the way is Bell. There is a strike, so it's 3-1. And this is really a dangerous spot because you don't want to come in to, with Cunningham to Tiana Bell. You don't want to walk Bell because Brinley Bain's in the on-deck circle.
And that's with 1 through 9, every hitter having the ability to step up and do damage. That's just the pressure that's applied.
Speaking of pressure applied, it certainly is that. Back-to-back walks. McDowell works the count. Tiana Bell works the count. Both draw free passes. And Brinley Bain stepping in. She has an RBI double to her credit. She's reached safely in all 14 contests this year. And she'll bat with runners at first and second, but not before a conversation and a meeting of the minds. Boy, you talk about this offense and what Coach Gasso has done with these hitters. It's been nothing short of impressive.
And you just talk about the jump in average alone from 2024 to 2025, and then the early season production that Arkansas is displaying. He, recently in an interview talked about that he's always heard that it takes 2 or 3 years to start seeing your culture come to life. And I would have to say that for the start of 2026, that culture has undoubtedly come to life. And that's not to say 24 and 25 weren't great seasons for the Razorbacks. It's the processes that he's put in place with this offense and the perspective. And, one thing that he talks about is he just focuses on different things than other hitting coaches.
That's
I would like to dig a little bit deeper on what those things are. But
the secret that is the Gasso hitting style. They've got something going on. They got it going on at OU as well. The legendary coach Patty Gasso, but and even Coach Deifel, played for the legendary Coach Diane Ninemar at California, won a title in 2002. Greatness has seemed to follow Coach Deifel everywhere she's gone.
Absolutely. She's been a part of some great programs and now leading her own.
You talked about this offense for Arkansas, ranks 4th nationally in batting average coming into today, a 404 team average. 2nd in the nation in scoring and averaging 10.54 runs a game. Their pitching's equally as good. Brinley Bain takes the 1-0 pitch for a strike to even things up. And then fielding percentage is 3rd in the country at a 990 clip. So you got an ERA at 6th and a whip of 7 in the nation. You're top 10 in fielding categories, defensive categories, and offensive categories. That's just not fair. 1-1 to Bain. Boy, that is an excellent take. A veteran take for a freshman.
A great take. And Cunningham, she is just at the bottom of that strike zone.
That's a lot of pitches that a lot of hitters swing over the top of. Bain takes it just below the zone and earns a hitter's count. 3-1 in the dirt. Cunningham's got to be careful. Runners at 1st and 2nd. After she got the line out of Dakota Kennedy on one pitch, she has struggled with McDowell and Bell, and she's one pitch away from walking Bain also. Kaylee Wyckoff waits in the on-deck circle. 3-1 pitch, strike at the knees. Much needed from Cunningham.
That's a much-needed pitch for Cunningham, and she is just on the corners of the zone. It's not that she's missing by much, JB. She's right there around the strike zone. But the discipline of the Arkansas staff, they do not expand the zone.
Makes it so difficult. 3-2, Bain smokes it foul down the right field line. Boy, she missed extra bases by just a whisker.
And for Bain, this is just a foot on the right side of the foul line.
So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wyckoff waits in the on-deck circle. Another big pitch upcoming for Renee Cunningham. 3-2, hit sharply to short. They had her played just right. They'll throw to second, a step on the bag, and the throw to first. Double play from Donahue, and it ends the threat. Cunningham works into and out of trouble. We're still tied at 6.
And for Donahue, perfectly placed up the middle. She's able to take it on her own, fires across the bag, gets it back in the dugout.
Welcome back to Bogle Park, top of the 5th. Still tied at 6. Robin Heron out, and she'll face Kansas Robinson to begin things. Robinson's 0 for 1 today with a walk. She grounded out to short her last time up. But you already talked about her defense. Handful of web gems today. Offense hasn't been bad either. Pops this one up, though, in foul ground behind home. McDowell comes in, dives, and just could not quite haul it in. I think the catcher lost it. Bain just couldn't quite figure out where the ball was. McDowell nearly made a SportsCenter top 10 play.
And taking a look at this, McDowell just hustling in. In a play like this, there's got to be communication.
Check swing foul. One ball, two strikes. It's Brindley Bain taking over behind the dish for Kennedy Miller.
And to take a look back at that play, it seems as though that Bain just had no idea where the ball was, and Ella McDowell having to make the effort.
That's tough. When you get tossed around, that shadow on the field doesn't help a ton either. 2-2 is fouled back by Robinson. She's hanging tough against Robin Heron. I mean, there's a look at it. I mean, you're in almost an utter darkness.
It is tough, and especially at this point of the day, even a little bit offensively, that shadow right there with the ball coming in kind of throws the perception off.
2-2 is skied a mile high to left center. Who wants it? It'll be the left fielder Dakota Kennedy who makes the catch, and that's out number one.
And Dakota Kennedy coming into this program from Arizona, it's not just the offensive piece, it's the defensive piece too that she's brought, to be able to step into that left field. Previously, Reagan Kramer was in left field throughout her career.
Bridget Donahue standing in now for her third at bat, 0 for 1 today. She walked and then grounded out to third, but drove in a runner last time up. Bases empty, one gone. Swings and misses there, and it's 0-2. And you talked about Dakota Kennedy coming in, replacing Reagan Kramer in left field, whose offense really soared last year, certainly early in the campaign. But a huge get for Coach Deifel to go in the portal and land a player like Dakota Kennedy. In today's age with a transfer portal, it's almost a given. You've got to utilize that to have success.
Well, absolutely. And, as the game has evolved, we've seen the college landscape, I don't want to say level out a little bit, but it has changed the format of the teams and the type of players that teams are getting. And to your point, JB, you've got to utilize the transfer portal, to your advantage. And this pitch by Robin Heron, she elevated in the zone the pitches prior and then just throws the drop ball to get the strikeout looking.
Man, that was filthy. Bottom falls right off of that one. So a strikeout of Donahue. Quickly, two are gone. It'll be all up to Avery Garden if Northwestern's going to be able to take the lead in the top of the fifth.
And talking about the transfer portal, it's interesting. Arkansas has Tiana Bell and Dakota Kennedy that have stepped in, but pretty much outside of a couple of freshmen, they've had mainstays in the lineup.
There's a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Carly Davison will make the catch, and Northwestern goes 1-2-3 in the top of the fifth. Hogs looking to retake the lead in the home half. Renee Cunningham out for her second inning of work, and she'll face 6, 7, and 8. Kaylee Wyckoff to lead things off for the Hogs. Wyckoff has hit it sharply in both at-bats, but she's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out sharply to third and then flew out to left field. Takes the 0-1 pitch on the inner half, and quickly Renee Cunningham's ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Wyckoff's been a big part of this Arkansas lineup really since she's arrived in Fayetteville. Slices that foul down the line, so hanging tough. She'll do it again with a no ball, 2 strike count. Wyckoff transfer a few years back from Texas Tech. Good softball program, as many know. 0-2 Wyckoff. Again, this one hit much more sharply down that left field line, but again, it'll be no balls, 2 strikes.
Right past Coach Matt Michael on third base. Previously, Coach Courtney Difel coached third. A little bit of a change-up this year for the program and him coaching from third base. Also, another addition to the staff this year is Parker Staggs. He was previously at Duke, was at Arkansas, and has come back, helping more on the pitching side for the program.
Arkansas's got it going on. We already talked about their numbers nationally. Top 10 in a ton of fielding, offensive, and defensive categories. They're doing it right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ripped up the middle by Kaylee Wyckoff. And it's a leadoff single in the bottom of the 5th.
And to be down 0-2 early in the count, this is Wyckoff through and through. It's an off-speed pitch at the lower half of the plate. She gets inside of that and hits it right back where it came from.
She kept battling previous 2 pitches, right? 0-2, is able to foul off a couple, then gets a 1-2 count. She just fights off till she gets something she can drive. It's a sign, naturally, of a good hitter. Ramsey Walker in for the second time. Drills it off the third baseman's glove into the left field corner. That's a double for Ramsey Walker, and Arkansas is in business in the bottom of the 5th.
Ramsey Walker has stepped up time and time again when the opportunity has presented itself. She rips this ball down the left field line. It is a no-doubter, getting past True Medina right there at third. Her aggressive approach at the plate, she is so aggressive with her swing and her mentality, and you can just see it with her presence in the box. And you know, JB, last year, Ramsey Walker really wasn't getting playing opportunities. And so then you talk about stepping in this year and making the most of the opportunities. It just shows when you stay the course and you put in the time, when your time comes, and someone like Ramsey Walker has made the most of it.
I would say so. It well over 500. Says, Coach, put me in. I'm raking. I don't care which third baseman you had. That not many, if any, are making that play at third base. That ball was hammered off the bat of Ramsey Walker, and Arkansas is in business trying to retake the lead. 6 unanswered from Northwestern as Natalia Rijo stands in. She's 1 for 2 today. Singled and lined out to left field back in the 3rd inning. This is a prime opportunity, though, for Arkansas. 1-0. Off speed, right down the middle. Rijo, the senior from Horseheads, New York. Long way from home, but making the most of it. She takes that in the dirt, so a 2-1 count. Hitter's opportunity for Rijo, and Cunningham once again got to be careful. You've talked about it, Sydney, just the approach of the plate for these hitters. They get a ton of hitters counts because of their approach.
They don't expand the zone. They don't swing outside of the zone. They force the pitcher, the opposing pitcher, to bring it back in the zone. They're not going to chase. That's just one thing about this offense that they're not going to do. They're not going to chase outside of the zone. And then it just applies the pressure to where the pitcher feels like, I've got to throw it there.
Yeah.
And then when it shows up, they do what they're supposed to with it.
2-2 is curled down the right field line and out of play. So out in front was Rijo. And so that's what it is, right? You come over the plate because you've got to, and then typically good hitters make you pay if you find too much of the zone.
And then to talk about a growth in a player like Rio offensively, she has had so much growth within her time being a part of the Razorback program, and it really comes down to the growth in her discipline at the plate that has led to her having more offensive success and production.
She's worked to full count after Cunningham's gotten ahead of a lot of these hitters, but just can't quite put them away. Arkansas dangerous with Carly Davison looming in the on-deck circle. That one's lined to deep right field. Out of here in a hurry, and Rijo puts the Hogs in front.
And Natalia Rio, what a battle of an at-bat. The pitch shows up. She drives in 3 runs. And this swing by Rio, it was a no-doubter off the bat. A pitch low in the zone. She drives her lower half to get to it. No doubter, JB. No doubter. And as we see her come around the bag, she has that excitement with Coach Matt Michael. A little bit of a bump on the shoulder.
That was laced by Rijo. You're exactly right. It got out of here quickly. Exit velo on that, I'd be anxious to see, but that's going to do it for Renee Cunningham. Rijo chases Cunningham, and the Hogs are up by 3. Northwestern heading to the bullpen again. Marina Mason will be the new pitcher out of the pen and comes in with her team trailing 9-6, all thanks to Natalia Rijo's 3-run bomb. She will face Carly Davison and fouls it away. Mason coming in is a freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee.
And Mason being the 4th pitcher that Arkansas has faced today. She has that rise ball, drop ball combo working vertically. She really likes to utilize her off-speed pitch. It's the downward movement. She likes to allow her defense to work back behind her. Earlier in this season, I know we're still early, but earlier, JB, she threw a complete game shutout against Missouri, only allowing 2 hits over 7 innings.
Wow.
And Arkansas has faced her already this weekend, and in that outing, she gave up 2 earned runs.
So you see what she's capable of as a youngster. That's a good Missouri team to shut the door on them and with relative ease. And then, bounced around a little bit against A&M and Arkansas. She did pitch, as you mentioned, also this weekend against SEMO. Pitched well there, 7 strikeouts, 1 run, and 5 innings of work. She's got a 2.62 ERA through 26 and 2/3 innings pitched. And she gets Davison to pop up to first base for the first out of the inning. So nice job out of the pen for Marina Mason.
And Marina Mason, she's utilized the most on this Northwestern staff. And it was talked about, again, I know I've already said it, but all 5 pitchers are going to be utilized throughout the course of the season. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, JB, especially already so early in the season. especially when you get into conference play. Everyone's already had that experience. They've been able to step up in different roles, in different game situations and settings, and that really helps you once it comes to conference play.
And I think you're right on. I mean, and that's what it really matters anyways. You need to make pushes into your conference tournament or your conference season. Naturally, you get to the tournament. If you don't get an at-large bid, you got to win the thing. But you want to play your best later in the year. And when conference time comes around, it's so valuable to have a lot of innings pitched in meaningful games early in the non-con. I think you're seeing, too, a lot of freshmen making big appearances, big impact on their program. Alan McDowell for Arkansas last year. But even this young pitcher here in Marina Mason for Northwestern, you know she's going to be coming in big time down the stretch once conference play comes. And just the rich history that Northwestern's had, you've kind of talked about that from Coach Strohan, the success that they've had. But they've built something special in Evanston, much like here in Fayetteville. Popped up by Johnson to second. A little bit of an adventure for Nito, but she corrals it for the second out.
And Mason has come in and done her job. 2 swings, 2 flyouts.
Yeah, both balls not really hit very sharply, right? Kind of on the hands, sawed off a little bit.
And Mason, she does have speed. She sits in the mid-60s to upper 60s, but she's crafty. She's got high spin rate on her ball.
Yeah, just adds even more difficulty as a hitter. And as we've seen, it's still difficult for a hitter against good pitching, right? Good pitching beats good hitting typically any day of the week, although we're seeing here over the last few years the evolution, if you will, of the offense across the college game. And I think even like with OU, right, losing earlier this year, the dominance that they've had, you're seeing offenses start to equalize a little bit.
You're right, and the playing field has just seemingly evened out over the past couple of seasons. We don't see a lot of those, 1-0, 2-1 ball games anymore. I mean, when you look across, the NCAA and you look at scores after a weekend, you're going to see a lot of, like what we're seeing, 6-9 ball games, maybe 7-8 run ball games.
A lot more upsets because of that as well, just across the region. I think if you remember last year in the regionals, LSU got bounced by Southeastern Louisiana, a smaller mid-major program. That's something you didn't see a ton of years ago, right? It was the top teams usually make it, and they're not going to lose. A little bit more parity across the nation. 1-2 to Dakota Kennedy. Marina Mason trying to work a 1-2-3 inning, misses outside 2-2, but she's looked good early. Kennedy's 1 for 3 today. Doubled back in the second. Lined out to center fielder last time up. 2-2 is chopped sharply to first, but right there's Kansas Robinson, and that one's an easy put out for the first baseman. 1-2-3 for Mason out of the pen, but the Hawks still up 9-6.
But it was Italia Rio with the 3-run home run to put the Hogs on top.
Welcome back to Fayetteville, Arkansas. JB Brazil, alongside Sydney Parlee, the rest of our SEC Network crew. Glad you're with us on a chilly day in Fayetteville, top of the 6th. And Ainsley Muno will stand in for the first time today. You know, the junior from Barrington, Illinois, getting her first at-bat of the afternoon. You know, $143. Just her 5th appearance of the season. She's 1 for 7. Small sample size, but certainly Northwestern would like to see her come on. Hitters count to Muno, and she pops it up. Hit it well, but got underneath it. Shallow right field. Carly Davison, can of corn. So that's the first out of the inning. It'll flip things over now. Top of the lineup, Grace Nito will stand in. She's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Tries to bunt at the first one, offers at it, but unable to connect, and it's 0-1. Lefty on lefty. That one rising up and away to even the count. What a game we've had. It started 6-0 Arkansas. Looked like the Hogs were looking for a run roll or at least a good, comfortable win, but not so fast. Northwestern responds with 6 of their own. It wasn't until half inning ago when Natalia Rijo took matters into her own hands with a 3-run laser bomb.
And we have seen the offense from both sides, from small ball, hitting it gap to gap, and the long ball.
A little bit of everything peppered in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Makes for a fun day. Thankfully, we're not out in the elements. It has been chilly, but it's been fun. Glad to get to call this one with you, partner.
Absolutely, with you as well. It's good. We always love when season's back.
That's right. Best time of the year. 2-2 to Nito. A lot of run on that one. It gets away and out of the zone. The count's full. Northwestern trying to rally. Down by 3 again. 3-2. Hit to third. McDowell in the air. Spears it. And that's the second out of the inning.
And this liner off the bat of Nito, it was a shot at Ella McDowell, but one of those that just tails down at the last minute. She's got to show that she did catch it. It was a clean catch.
Show me, show me. She showed him. Second out of the inning. Kelsey Nader has had quite the day. Softly tapped to the left side. No chance for McDowell. An infield single for Kelsey Nader and a 3-for-4 day for the right fielder.
Have a day, Kelsey Nader, and talk about some speed in a perfectly placed soft slap down the third base line. She got out of the box and threw the bag in no time. You can see right there, she gets right to contact, hits the ball on the inner part of her handle for the soft slap in front of Ella McDowell.
And McDowell, one of the best third basemen, just no chance. That one's looped over the head of Rijo. Kaylee Abasato with a single, and it's back-to-back knocks for Northwestern.
And for Northwestern with 2 outs, showing a little bit of fight right here like they did in the previous innings.
Don't look now, but the tying run coming to the plate. Emma Ray, she went big fly against Robin Heron her last time up, too.
I was just about to say, JB, with runners in scoring position and a chance to get some runs back on the board, it is Emma Ray who Northwestern wants in the plate.
Boy, this is getting a little dicey. First pitch to Emma Ray is a strike on the outer portion. Robin Heron gets ahead 0-1. Emma Ray, 2 for 3 today with 3 runs driven in. A 2-run double and a solo bomb. Wants to tie things up or at least trying to drive in a run here as the count evens at a ball and a strike. home run that Ray hit, too. We talked about it. It was off the plate. She went out and got it, and boy, did she. 1-1's chop to the left side. Rijo makes the play. Throw to first. Not in time. Bang, bang at first, but Emma Ray, an infield single. Back-to-back-to-back hits for Northwestern, and the bases are juiced.
And for Emma Ray, she legs this out. This ball is hit to Rio's throwing side. She gets around it, but just not quick enough to gun it over to first base.
Almost seemed like Rijo was in between whether she was going to backhand or fronthand. The runner in front may have altered things a little bit too. Bases loaded for True Medina. Medina's 1 for 3 today. First pitch fouled back to the screen.
And she was all over that pitch. Typically, the rule of thumb is when you foul it off straight back, you're all over that pitch. And to go back quickly to that play by Rijo, she's been playing up the middle, and to your point, JB, you're exactly right. It was like, do I backhand it? Do I get my body around it? And with the speed of Ray.
Big swing and a miss there. Robin Heron ahead 0-2. Yeah, Ray's speed came into play there, and that really made things tough for Rijo. But Robin Heron ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, trying to shut the door. True Medina trying to hang tough. The 0-2 pitch, foul down the left field line. Boy, it's just the top of the 6th, but man, what a moment this is. This is a crucial part of the game. We'll do it again with an 0-2 count. Medina trying to battle. True Medina fouls it away again. She's hanging tough. What looked like to be a cruise for Robin Heron in the end, got the first 2 outs, but then 3 straight singles for Northwestern, 2 on the infield. Another 0-2 pitch, fouled away again. 5 pitches to Medina, 3 of them fouled in a row, and she is continuing to stay alive. She represents the go-ahead run. Bases full of Wildcats. 0-2, swing and a miss! Robin Heron gets Medina to climb the ladder and ends the inning. Wildcats threatened, but to no avail.
Robin Heron, bases juiced, kept the ball low in the zone, but utilizes that rise ball to get Medina to chase.
Well, Arkansas on top, 9-6 in the bottom of the 6th. Up by 3, looking to add to that. It'll be 3, 4, and 5, the meat of the lineup. Ella McDowell, first pitch, swinging, chops it to third, but an errant throw from True Medina. McDowell will end up at second base. Throws her hands up, says, hey, put the ball in play. Good things happen. And the error for Medina, that's the third of the day for Northwestern.
And this ball chopped to True Medina down over at third. She just gets on top of that throw, spiking it into the ground over to Kansas Robinson, and Robinson just not able to keep the ball in front of her. And we talk about, I talked about it with Reagan Johnson, but when you just have hitters that have speed that makes you rush, gets your eternal clock off.
Oh boy, Tiana Bell chops it to the right side. It got past Kansas Robinson, but nobody was covering first. So Bell will reach on the single, station to station, runners at the corners for Arkansas.
And for Bell, either this was perfectly placed or she realized the defensive placement of where Nita was playing more up the middle. That was just great situational hitting in that moment, hitting the ball to the right side, especially with McDowell at second.
Yeah, because either way, you're moving the runner up by hitting it to the right side. That one there for Robinson, as good as she's been, that's a long way to come off of first. Kind of hung her defense out to dry. Regardless, it was going to be a tough play either way. So first and third for Arkansas, and Brinley Bain, who is 1 for 3 today with an RBI double, will stand in with a chance to lick her chops and drive in another. Marina Mason, after retiring the side in order, gave up the ground ball to McDowell. She reached on an error, and then Bell with soft contact to the right side. So she's given up soft contact per se, but unfortunately for Marina Mason, there's 2 aboard. Brinley Bain, video game numbers. Well over 500 is her batting average. She'll have a 2-0 count to work with now as that one misses in the dirt. You just talked about the numbers of Bain, ranked 9th nationally, a perfect game, the 2025 class. Same thing for Sailor Timmerman. Ranked 8th, I believe, nationally. I mean, that's 2 really, really good gets for Coach Deifel and company.
And we talk about the transfer portal earlier playing a huge factor, but there's still such a need in getting those high school athletes to come into your program and step in and be those true freshmen.
And contribute from day one. That's certainly what Brinley Bain has done. Line drive to first, speared by Robinson, and she'll beat Tiana Bell back to first for the double play.
And Kansas Robinson, another heads-up play defensively. She sticks with this line drive that is tailing away from her glove side. And for Tiana Bell, that's just a tough moment right there, base running, as she just breaks off and gets her lead.
So it'll be all up to Kaylee Wyckoff if Arkansas is going to get any insurance in the bottom of the 6th. As we look ahead to the top of the 7th inning, Robinson, Donahue, and Garden will be due up. The first pitch to Wyckoff is a strike. So 6, 7, and 8 for Northwestern. They're going to need at least 3 to keep the game alive. Arkansas is hoping it's more than that. The 0-1 to Wyckoff. A little bit low to even the count. (9-11-0) is the line score for Arkansas. 6, 9, and 3 for Northwestern. And you talked about not being able to practice outside. Those errors have been costly today. When you're practicing in an indoor facility and you're artificial turf and you're out here playing on dirt, it is different. The bounces aren't as true like they are on artificial turf. 2-1. Outside, 3-1.
No, to your point, JB, it is difficult to only be indoors and then to go outside. And it's just, you don't get those game-like reps. You're not outside. You're not in an open environment. But one thing coming off of this weekend is the offensive pieces can be there, but defense is the true glue that holds a game together, holds a team together. And so for Northwestern, coming off of the weekend with, quite a few unearned runs, it's going to be an important thing, you know, to focus on those defensive miscues moving forward.
They've got the pieces. There's no doubt about that. Just the wins that they've had this year. Unfortunately, the errors have piled up this weekend. And again, you attribute that again to not being able to practice early. Since November they've been inside, right?
Since November they've had to practice inside because the winter weather systems just seemingly have continued. They're right outside of Chicago, and you know, it's just tough. But that's why preseason they come to places like Fayetteville and Texas, and to be able to get in that warmer weather and, you know, to get in the ball games.
And that could also be said the same for Coach Deifel. Usually by this time, Arkansas is still on the road for a tournament around this time. It just depends on what availability is, but it does get cold around here at this time too. So Arkansas a lot of times will travel to California, Florida, just different parts south, closer to the equator. So Ramsey Walker will stand in now, and boy, has she been red hot at the plate. 2 for 2 since she came in to pinch hit for Kennedy Miller. And both balls were well struck. Singled in the third and then ripped a double off the third baseman's glove an inning ago. First pitch is just a little bit low from Marina Mason. Arkansas will have Casey Wood running for Wyckoff over at first base. 1-0 to Walker. Big wave and a miss. I think Ramsey Walker was trying to make it a 12-6 ball game.
I was just about to say, with a swing and a cut like that, she had everything behind it.
You've had a couple of those in your time, haven't you? Digging in a little bit. 1-1 pitch. Catches the inside corner, and Mason's ahead 1-2. They're trying to get caught in a rundown to get McDowell home from third. They'll run Wood back to first base. That's a nice job by Northwestern to not allow that run to come home to score.
And right here we see Wood break off like she's stealing second. She stopped short of her tracks, trying to get in that rundown, to your point, JB, to get McDowell home, but Northwestern wasn't going to bite on it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Walker. Thought about taking a hack at that one. The riser kept rising. It evens the count at 2-2. Runners at the corners with 2 gone. 2-2 to Walker. Fouled off to the left side near the third base dugout. The inning started with a ground ball by Ella McDowell. Third baseman True Medina threw it away at first, so McDowell were into second. Bell then grounded to the right side, got a single, so first and third, nobody out. But the line-out double play by Brinley Bain helped out Mason. She's an out away from evading trouble, and she'll do it. Swing and a miss from Ramsey Walker. It strands the runners at first and third, but Northwestern needs 3 to keep this game alive.
And Marina Mason doesn't allow any more runs to cross the plate with this off-speed drop ball and a strikeout for Ramsey Walker.
Robin Heron out in the top of the 7th, looking to close things out for Arkansas. She'll face Kansas Robinson to lead things off at the top of the 7th. First pitch lined through the 4-hole. Robinson a leadoff single, and Northwestern's not done yet.
And for Northwestern being down 3 runs in the top of the 7th, that's exactly what you want to see, JB, is getting that leadoff runner on. What Northwestern's going to have to focus on right here is just taking it base to base, passing the bat.
They need at least one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Bridget Donahue, who's 0 for 2 today, swinging away at the first pitch, but comes up empty.
And Robin Heron right here, not that her pitches have not been effective, but to put Northwestern out, she's going to have to focus on utilizing that off-speed pitch, because as far as the drop ball and the curve goes, and their at-bats, they've been seeing those 2 pitches very well.
So Bridget Donahue with the conversation. We'll get set to step back into the box. This is Robin Heron's game. She's the pitcher of record now after that solo bomb tied things up at 6 apiece back in the 5th. Cam Harrison started the game off. She pitched 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned. Sailor Timmerman pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 run. It was not earned. And then Heron 3 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. 1-1 is driven to deep center field. Johnson going back. She looks up, and it is gone. 2-run bomb from Bridget Donahue, and Northwestern's cut this thing down to a 1-run game.
Bridget Donahue says we are not done yet. What a swing, what an at-bat. This pitch right down the heart of the plate, but she gets every piece of it, JB, driving it over the center field wall. No wind needed to assist in that ball.
Not one bit. That one got out of here by plenty. Still nobody out. 8-hole hitter. Standing in, Avery Garden. And Northwestern, all kinds of life right now.
The hacks that Northwestern is taking right here, but even just as the game has progressed, you can sense that comfortability and them really digging in the box and seeing the ball well.
Against a pitcher that's very tough to do that. 0-1, just a little bit low to even things up. So now Northwestern will have at the very least the tying run at the plate for all 3 outs. Ainsley Muno waiting in the on-deck circle. 1-1. Filthy pitch. Catches the zone, and it's 1-2.
I'll tell you, JB, for Northwestern, the goal is to leave Fayetteville with a win right here. But take the win outside of it. This is a game that they can build momentum off of with what they have displayed offensively and the resiliency and fight that they've displayed.
Long run and foul ground. It lands harmlessly in between Riho, McDowell, and Kennedy. But you're right. I mean, no doubt. You come in, even if you don't win this game if you're Northwestern, you know you're a good team. When you put together performances like this and fight against a really good team in Arkansas, that builds so much confidence where you think you can beat anybody. One and two to Avery Garden. Swing and a miss. Strikeout in the dirt. Bain throws to first to complete the out, and that's a big one for Robin Heron.
Big response by Robin Heron after giving up a 2-run home run. And it's the off-speed pitch that she throws outside of the zone to get Avery Garden to chase.
First out of the inning. Now Ainsley Muno will stand in. She popped up to second in her first at bat. 0 for 1 today and swings over the top with the first pitch here, 0-1.
And after seeing Bridget Donahue with that 2-run home run and the swing of the bat, the changeups are starting to pick up a little bit more in Robin Heron's arsenal.
Swing and a miss again, 0-2. That was the second home run of the season by Donahue. Cut the lead down to 1, but Robin Heron's trying to make sure that's as close as Northwestern gets. as Munoz trying to battle with an 0-2 count. That one bounced at the plate. Boy, I had the veteran, though, at Heron. I mean, how many times she's been in situations like this, gives up a big bomb, doesn't let it rattle, doesn't shake her, just keeps coming back and throwing and doing what she does. 1-2, chopped foul.
Talking about the progression of her career here at Arkansas, mainly utilized coming in relief. She gets some starts. She's versatile. She can start, she can come in relief, she can come in at the end of the game to close it out. So it's not just about the way that she pitches and the pitches that she has. We've also seen her progress in that aspect as well.
Taken low that time by Muno to even the count 2-2. You got her, one of the best pitchers in the conference, in the country. You add in a handful of other really talented arms. 2-2, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Robin Heron, and Arkansas's an out away.
And it's the off-speed pitch that does it again for second strikeout of the inning after a 2-run home run.
So Grace Nito, the top of the lineup, will represent the last hope for Northwestern. And she takes the first pitch for a strike. Heron's coming right at her. Nito is 0 for 3 today with a walk. Just trying to find a way to get on or tie the ball game. That one's got a lot of run to it. A nice take from Nito. It evens the count at 1-1. Man, what a ball game this has been.
It has been. It has been a back-and-forth battle between Arkansas and Northwestern, offensively and in the circle.
Woo! Folder inside corner. Heron's a strike away. Nito gave up on that one a little early. That was some break from Robin Heron. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Heron trying to close the door. Swing and a miss! Robin Heron strikes out the side. It was a rocky start to the 7th. A 2-run bomb from Donahue, but a strikeout ends it.
Robin Heron responds with the strikeout number 3 with the off-speed pitch. And what a response by Heron coming off of a 2-run home run to end the ball game.
Arkansas a 9-8 victory to claim it against Northwestern. The sweep of the Wildcats undefeated in the Razorback Invitational. This team's legit, Sydney.
That they are, and having Northwestern threw out 4 pitchers to combat the Arkansas offense. And Arkansas finds a way to pull it out. It's the offense that gets it done, and Robin Heron, the veteran, closes out the game.
A fun, chilly afternoon from Fayetteville. That'll do it for us. From Bogle, from our partner Sydney Parley and the rest of our crew, I'm JB Brazil saying so long and have a great rest of your day.